All right, welcome back, everyone. Is your favorite podcast? Is your favorite podcast? Yeah, favorite podcast. Yeah, and welcome back to another episode of Who Made That Song. And as usual, if this is your first time, you're welcome. For older listeners, you already know the vibes. We like to explore music professionals, especially the younger generation, the newer generation, and try to see where they're coming from. And today, I'm excited because we have the first. I mean, this is not something that should be happening now. I wish it had happened earlier, but after so many episodes, we have the first female guest. And like in an industry that is like grossly dominated by male figures, we actually do have a lot of women doing amazing things. I mean, just over the weekend, Thames won her first Grammy
Shout out
for
to
her song with shout out Thames. And I mean, across the industry generally, the track record of the women and the work they do is amazing. And so I have made it like a very conscious effort to have more women than men on this season. So help me God. So yeah, um, today's guest is someone that I have actually monitored her work for some time. I don't want to seem like a stalker or anything, but I've been monitoring your work for a while. And some people know her as Gunna's mom. Some people know her as the Ribena goddess. Some as Janae Echo. You're laughing already. Other people know her as K-Star, and some other people call her. I mean, she has so many names, so it's almost like a Yoruba party hype type of thing. But today on the podcast we have Kulupsy, um, known by her government name as Feyisola Ogunbanjo. Did I get that right?
yes, please. Thank you, David. That was such a lovely introduction. Yeah,
Welcome,
those are
welcome,
all my
welcome.
aliases. Kulupsy, K Star, K, um, Faye, K Star, the Ribena
Janae Echo.
Goddess. Do you know Janeko? Yeah. Yeah, that's me. Every version is I kind of like to feel like every version is like a different, a different person. And the most sane of all
Interesting.
is Faye.
So
Yeah.
you have how many alter egos now? Like seven?
Yeah, about seven.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, Sasha Fierce. All right. So I always wanted to know the origin of the name Kulupsi because you are literally the only Kulupsi in the world. So where did that name
Yeah.
come from?
Okay. I've told the story to like a couple of people, but the name came from my dad and my grandma, actually. Do you know those like
Interesting.
Michelin tire, the mascot,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that guy? He's
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, the white. So I used to look like that as a kid. Like I had like all the
No
really
way.
nice, like chunky arms and neck. So my grandma used to sing like Jankulu, Jankulubo Oyoyo, Jankulubo Oyoyo.
Oh my god,
So my
no.
dad pretty much just turned it to started calling me Kulupsi. Like he makes like little cute names for us, like we're four girls, my sisters and I. So he calls our baby sister calls her KK Follicus, there's Folibunkus, there's Kulupsi, right?
Oh
So
my gosh. This
so he
is this
just
is
yeah. My dad is kind of cute. So yeah, that's
I
like
didn't see this taking this turn.
that's where the name came
But
from. So
that's a very interesting story.
most people from home. Um, I my dad rarely ever called me by my first name, so that's like it makes it very special.
Really?
Yeah, and
That is that is very interesting.
yeah, that's where the name came from. Actually.
All right, good story. So word on the street is you never go around without Ribena in your bag. So I know you can't see me right now, but I have a pack of Ribena, two packs actually, just so that we can be on the same frequency, I guess.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
virtual cheers.
Virtual chairs. That's so funny because I actually had like Ribena in my. I put it in the freezer. I was gonna leave it there for a
Hmm.
little while, so it would like be cold when I'm ready, and I left it there overnight. So it's just out there thawing right now, and
Oh,
I'm going to have some when I'm done with this calls.
no, we're done. That's fine, no
Yeah.
problem. I will be drinking on your behalf. I have the blackcurrant flavor. I'm not a Ribena person, but I just decided to try this. So yeah, I hope I like it. Um,
Okay.
so I also noticed that you have a pet dog, Gunner,
Yeah, that's
and I
my
have a
boy
very interesting
gonna
story.
talk to me.
I was chased by a puppy a couple of weeks ago. I was chased down 4 stories by a puppy. It's
A
not like that
puppy.
was a very traumatic experience. I'm
That's
not
very
even joking. I'm not.
embarrassing.
I'm not. Yes, it's very embarrassing. I'm not. It's not one of my proudest moments, but
I'm so
I just have to
sorry.
say it because I'm not an animal person. Like I've never had
Yeah.
pets and nothing. So I ordered takeout and I was gonna receive the delivery, and it's like a 5-story building, and one of the neighbors on one of the floors has 2 puppies. And so we happened to stop on his floor, and long story short, the dogs came out. I don't know why they came out because everyone was inside. And the man was saying, "Oh, don't run," because he's Lebanese. Don't run. This one, 6 months, 6 months. Before I knew, I was on the ground floor from the fourth floor.
Don't throw, don't
It
throw.
was the most. Even the delivery guy started laughing at me. I almost gave him a bad review, but I just let it slide. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's just my very sad dog story. But yeah, how does someone who was on the path to becoming a Texas end up in the music industry? Because
Oh,
I
oh
did a
my
little
gosh.
digging, and
Hmm.
I discovered that I mean, like I said before the pod started, I like to really get into like the details of people's origin stories and know where they come from and how, because I feel like your life and everything that happens to you really shapes who you become and like what paths you take. So like things like family, friends, and your environment really shape how the decisions you make and what paths you decide to take in life. So I was doing a little digging and I discovered that you study computer science at
Yeah.
the American University of Nigeria in Yola.
Nigeria.
I have another
Mm-hmm.
story about Yola. I was in Yola for a couple of weeks one time.
Doing
But that's
what?
just by the way. That was NYSC
Oh,
camp.
NYC.
That
Oh my
was
god.
that was
Yola can be kind of
3 4 years
interesting,
ago.
but
It was a very, very, for someone that grew up in Port Harcourt slash Lagos, Yola was an extremely different environment for me. And even when I saw like my letter, I mean, I only did the camp there. I ended up serving in Lagos, but
mhm.
I wanted to go there because I just wanted to experience like a new environment and just see how it like the north in quote is, because that's like the farthest northern place I've been to. I don't travel a lot. But yeah, so how does your path into computer science now lead you into music? So I just want to get a sense of your university days. I don't even want to go as far back as, let's say, secondary school, but I just want to know first of all what led you to study computer science at the university.
So damn, I was very good at like math and physics. Those are like the only two subjects I passed when I did the WAEC exam. So I got like A's there, and everywhere else was just like B's, and then I got like C in chemistry. Or I think it was a D. I can't remember. So my dad was like,
Interesting.
and I was like, this is an average student result. You can't. I was like, man, guy, I don't want to do this. But I was really young, so I was 13 when I graduated secondary school. So my dad was like, at the end of the day, he's not going to let any 13-year-old daughter of his go into uni. So But I mean, I already had my plans. I was already applying to AUN. So I applied
Wow.
and then
Why AUN?
cuz my mom had this idea that she didn't want me to go too far. She didn't want me to
Mm-hmm.
go too far, but like she wanted like a non-Nigerian experience sort of. So or
I
like
hear
not a
that.
normal, yeah. And then that actually just came up and I was like, oh yeah, fair enough. But then I lost my mom like 2 years before I go into school. So my dad was trying to, honor her memory and all of that. So we I applied and then I got chosen. So I told my dad and he was like, all right, fair enough, like let's go check it out and all of that. So my dad we went on like a an excursion to the school. Um and then we checked it out. It was nice. My dad was like, okay, you know what, that's calm, but I think you need some more time. Plus, you give me time to rewrite my exams and all of that. But they had already accepted me with my initial results. So I had to do like the WIAC entry exam like twice. Um, yeah, my second result was better. So then I go into uni at 14. And then I was studying computer science. Like that was the thing back then. Like if you were like they were like, oh, tech is the next thing, blah blah blah. And like being that I passed like math and physics, to the people advising me and my parents was like a no-brainer, like computer science was it. It's like, all right then, cool, let's do this. Then going to school, I did the entry exam and like I did really well. Like I did really really well. I think one of the reasons why that happens because I'm really competitive, but so I did really well and it took me like a so there's usually like the CSC 101 then 105, but if you're doing like because I did really well in the entrance exams, they didn't think it was necessary for me to do the first the 101. Yeah, so they put me in 105 and like same with math, I was in like 105 like so but then I was struggling in like my CSC class. And there was the instructor like he used to make us do like tests. And the class was at 8 a.m. Bro, like it was at 8 a.m. every day. And oh no, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. And then there's this module, we have like this module on like the internet and stuff. So when you get in, you log into your module, like that's what makes like your attendance, everything. And he always gives us like tests. So you give and the tests I think they're like 1 mark or 5 marks or whatever. So I used to miss it. Like I used to miss it a lot. I used to cry, like, Daddy, oh my god, I can't do this. I used to call my dad every day. Like I used to just shed tears. Like
Oh.
wow, I was struggling. So like at some point, and then so we did the first test and I got like a 60 over 100. And like that's like a D. So I went to meet the instructor, like, yo,
That's a
I need
D?
help. Yeah, that's a D. Like I need help and all of that. So he was like, I should go meet my classmates that they should help me. This. I was like, ah, cool now. So I went to meet them and gauge that what these guys were doing were just like using past questions, like
Mm-hmm.
cramming past questions past the exam. So I was like, I now I go into the vibe of it. And then like I passed the course, right? I came out with like a B plus. But that's when I started feeling like, damn, like I don't know if like, this is my path. But I still kept on doing that. And then I took like this elective course in public relations. The instructor is dead now, Mr. Idorin Apan. But like he made me fall in love with the art sec. So I took that course. I don't know. It was like I think it was advertising and public relations and advertising. Yeah. So I took that course and I ended up doing like kind of like a minor in public relations. And around the time I started getting involved with like student activities. We had like an official student activities and involvement office, which I was working in at the time for work study. And then
Mm-hmm.
I became like the public relations officer for campus activities board. And then I was promoted to vice president. When that happened, Started putting together concerts, homecoming. I remember my first concert. It was oh whoa, before then, sorry, I'm skipping. Before then,
Yeah, it's
I
fine. I mean,
I
we're
took
still going to
a
circle back to some of the details.
yeah, I took a year off school. Like after that like it was my second year. So after my sophomore year, um I took a year off school. I was like, you know what, let me go. Then I had my internship year during that year. Um I was working at Blue Chip Tech. Then it's like a training center. Then like you go to like the main place after like 3 months. So I was moved to Etisalat from Blue Chip. They're like partnered with Oracle. So I was working at
Mm-hmm.
Etisalat doing business analysis. Like it was around the time when they did the whole thing that calculates how much you spend with your like that stuff that the message that comes after you get on a phone call. It says like how
Oh
much
yeah,
you've
yeah, yeah,
used,
yeah,
how
yeah.
much is left. Yeah, like I was a part of the team that worked on that with Etisalat. So that's pretty cool. So yeah,
Oh wow,
at the
you're like
time I
an
was doing
OG
that,
OG.
and then yeah, and then like towards the end of my session there, everybody was like, oh my god, I'm really good at like I like music stuff, and like I should put together the end of year party, and we're gonna get, because like I think the head of the company, his name is Olumide, he knew like Wande Cole somehow or something, sha. So I like put together the event, and then like was able to like get Wande Cole. I was like, wow, this was nice. So I went back to school, like having that event, whatever in my mind, like, and then having met Mr. Akwan during the course, joined the campus activity board, and then we put together the first concert. My first concert, we had Tiwa Savage and Sauce Kid. This was like
Source kid, that was then. Oh,
far
he
back
was
in
the
like
thing then.
yeah, man, like 2012, 2013. Can't remember. I was like, she only had like Kene Kene Love and what's the name of
Love
the
me,
last
love
song?
me.
Love Me Out. And there was this girl that used to dance with her that she used to take around with her like this. And then your Sauce Kid came, so he performed, and like everyone was kind of like during Sauce Kid was performing. But like, when Tiwa was about to come on from backstage, she got the mic. She was like, I know you all are sitting down right now. Ah, da, 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 I'm coming out. I was like, oh my God, everybody started screaming. I was like, what?
Oh my gosh.
I was like, what? This was crazy. And at the time, like, there were rumors like, oh, Suskid was complaining because Tiwa asked for more money, and like we paid her what she asked for, and like. So, but like after the performance, it was just evidence like why that happened. But yeah, Sha, aside doing that, we had this other concert with Links. We did like a basketball thing. Like there were lots of things happening. And we used to do these events like official homecoming, which was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's kind of how I got in that space. And then I did this concert with MI. We had MI over, and then I met Abuchi, Peter
Yeah, I was
Ugo.
gonna get to that.
Yeah, and then I met
I saw you
Abuchi.
worked with his Being
Yeah, I met
Creative
Abuchi. Yeah,
company at
yeah,
some point.
yeah. So I met Abuchi, we started talking. I also met like Eze. Eze used to manage Pato Ranking at the time because we had an event with Pato Ranking. Had an event with Aristocrats. Oh my god, like so many wow memories are hitting me. But yeah. So I made a lot of connections at
Yes,
the
so it's all
time.
those memories I want you to relive and
Yeah.
share as much as you can.
So I made a lot of connections. So when I graduated in 2015, I came back, and I hit up Abuchi and I was like, Abuchi, I'm looking for a job. I'm out of school. Um, what can we do? What can we let's. So he was like, oh, that even someone hit him
So
up that
you
he's
really,
looking for. What'd you say?
sorry to cut you off. You really were not trying to explore like your tech career path
I mean, I
once you were
felt
done with
like
school again.
having doing all of that in a Etisalat was me exploring it and realizing, like,
Okay, getting a
yeah.
taste. Fair,
But
fair.
I'm even going to, I actually kind of did, but not in like the conventional way. I'll get to that. So I hit up Abuchi. So like I know the connections that really stood out to me is a Abuchi. and through AZ party ranking, MI, um, links, yeah, like a couple of things. And I remember, oh my god, there's this story I have about OBO man from school. We're gonna get him for a
I'm
concert,
here for it.
and I think he was also in school at the time. I think his dad called the president of our school and was like, "We're distracting his son. We're trying to get his
Oh
son
my
out of
gosh.
school to come and do a performance." Oh my god, it was crazy.
Oh my gosh.
So he
Did that
couldn't come
backfire on you?
immediately. It was. I mean, like, it was just kind of funny, but he wanted to come, so it wasn't like we're like forcing him. Like, so
Yeah.
it was just funny. It was
That
funny
was
at
a
the
bit
time.
crazy. That was a bit crazy because,
That was just
I
so
mean,
crazy.
everyone knows like
The president,
Davido's
and
dad
she
was
was white,
always either
right?
sending
She's
police to.
bro, and she's white, so she was like, "This artist is banned from this school." I was just like,
Oh
"Girl,
my god,
please,
no.
like, come on, no." Oh my god. So yeah, but we had a lot of people come. Whiskey, Burner. It was a nice vibe. So
You had Burner at that time.
yeah, man. At the time, like we're crazy for Burner, Jesse Jags. Like there were artists like, oh my god, that were always on our roster. So um yeah, getting back here now. He introduced me to Nosa. He introduced me to
Mm-hmm.
Nosa Morege. He's
Okay,
one
so at
of
this
our
time that means he was already with Chalk City.
yeah, he was already with Chuck City.
Okay.
But he was managing MI at the time. Oh, do you
Oh,
mean
that makes
me?
sense. No, no, I mean Abuchi.
Yeah, Abuchi was managing MI at the time, but he was at Chuck City already. So he introduced me to Nosa, and at the time Nosa was working at Trace TV. So I had a call with Nosa. He was like, "Oh, I should come up to the office. Let's have a conversation." He was looking to hire an assistant, and at the time he was the programming director at Trace. It was Trace TV at the time. So he spoke to me. He was like, "Yeah, this that." So that's how I got the job. So I started working as an assistant to the programming director at Trace. But I also, I used to work in the office as well. So I had like a lot of connections to the team. Like we used to do project, manage some projects, assist on a couple of like events and all of that. And then Sam, the head of Trace TV, used to also like give me some, you know, um, projects to work on, like mini campaigns, just stuff where I have to like draft plans or something, ask for ideas. So it was really like a cool environment. And then after like a couple years, so during my time with Nosa, he started his company, 605 International. It's like an agency that works with Hennessy. So I used to
Mm-hmm.
work with Hennessy as well. So I worked on the Hennessy VSOP, the cipher, the Hennessy cipher.
The cipher.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, for
The
about
VS
three
Fast cipher.
years. Yeah, managed Black Bones at the time. Um, there's this guy, Ghost, Emelo, even Fat Boy E, he was on there at some points. Like, but I do remember Black Bones very well. He stood out. There's some guy won. Like, he didn't win that year, but I think he won the next year. It was really cool. So met a lot of people. And then I left. I started working in the marketing department at Trace Ninja before I left. I was looking for a challenge after. So honestly, I was like, yeah, I think I want something more. Universal wanted to hire me, but I don't know. It didn't feel right. It didn't feel right, and like there was a lot of, oh my god, and then what happened? And then I got fired from Trace. I got fired for something someone else did. Yeah, it was yeah. I got fired for something someone else did. I don't even know if I'm ready to say this story, but yeah, let's just know I got fired. And then, but I had already turned down the job at Universal,
Oh,
right?
so you had nothing to fall back on.
So I had
Oh
nothing
my
to fall back on.
gosh.
So I got out. So I was just like chilling. Then I started working on. I met this guy, Lutana, and then I started working with him on Grey Room. I don't know if you know, there was this TV show, Grey Room. It was like a
Nah, I'm
talk
not sure I do.
show
I do.
and a YouTube talk show. And he was like, yeah, let's work on TV too. So we started doing the casting. We self-produced. We use like efforts, income. Oh my god, that was when I knew that yeah, freelancing is not a joke. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
we
not.
worked on like the whole show, produced the show. Was really good. So after that, I started working at this place called Student Hub NG. We used to do like we made like this community of unis. So we connected like we have connections or they have connections at all like the unis in Nigeria, who the SUG presidents are. Just so like they run campaigns for a lot of like brands. So I was working there as the media head for a bit. And then I was like, yeah, maybe this is the time to try some tech stuff. So I started working at a fintech. I was working as a brand executive at Fet's Wallet.
Oh, makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, so I met Douglas Jaker in like some months after that. And he was like, oh yeah, what are you doing? Let's work together. Let's do something. And then through him, I
Just like
started
that.
being on PGM. Yeah. I mean, he had like a couple conversations with me. And
Oh,
I was
okay.
like,
Okay. Fair.
so I started working on radio because he had seen that I had done a couple things and we talked about Grey Room and he knew like I worked at, Trace because when we're working on Hennessy, we used to do like the radio shows at Beat FM. So I'd met him a couple of times
Oh,
while
okay.
working. Then so I was like, yeah, let's work together. So I started working with PGM. We have like had like this radio show at night. And I used to be
Yeah.
on radio for a bit while doing my
I
brand
saw. I
exec
saw some
nine
of the
to
old
five.
pictures there, and I was
Yeah,
trying to spot
man,
you.
doing my 9 to 5 job or just like hustling.
Oh, you were mixing both of them.
Yeah.
Oh my
So I
god.
used to do like my 9 to 5 and
How are you
then
sleeping?
oh God, I wasn't really sleeping. And then I'll go to radio in the night. It was just crazy. Ah, oh my god! But I loved it. Like I loved it because with FET, I used to manage Lagos Fashion Week because they're one of like the major sponsors of Lagos Fashion Week. So anytime it was Fashion Week period, like I was there, like managing the financial aspects. Where you buy your tickets, we're all on that. So it was very interesting. And then I left LFW and Fetwellets. So started doing radio full time. And then there was one day, Damlola at the Native, she hit me up. She was like, oh my God, do I want to do like what's it called? Do I want to interview World that he just dropped a project. So I was like, cool, like, interesting, like, let's do that on the platform. So that happened, and then this story is pretty funny because I'm not sure till now what happened, but because of that, I stopped working at PGM. Douglas was like, yeah, I'm not loyal. Douglas was like, I'm not loyal, so
Oh damn.
I said, so yeah, I was on my own again. I started doing like PR. I worked on like with a couple of people, and then that's when I started working with Chop Life Crew actually in 2020. I mean, before then, I
Yeah.
used to put together
Yeah. That was.
events.
That was.
So I used to put together events. I did like this astrology series with Baba. Like, I used to put together a lot of events at Baba, just like mini parties, all of that. And
So, like,
and
what
I
what
remember
drew
doing
you
this.
to what drew you to what or how did you realize that it was like events that you like doing and like because from all you've said now you seem like oh you're the kind of person that likes to like organize stuff and like just you're the kind of person that just gets things going. So how did you kind of realize that that was like your strong points out of like everything you were doing? Because I mean you were doing a lot basically because you've literally from all you said now you've had almost like 9 lives already, which is why you saying you have like several alter egos kind of makes sense because you've dipped your hands in like several pools and like tried everything like and that already sounds crazy to me because I'm not like the most outgoing person when it comes to like taking risks, but like you
Mm,
I'm getting the sense that you kind of like just went for everything like on the whim. Like you didn't even need to think too much about anything before just going into it. So how did you now, in the midst of doing all of this, how did you now realize that oh, this is where you wanted to concentrate your strengths on, or
hmm.
like that this was where your strengths lied?
I think at that time I hadn't even realized. For me, it's about management. A lot of like people started reaching out to me on like asking me directions on like a lot of things regarding events and managing. And I felt like, and I sat back, I was like, oh my God, all these things I'm doing revolve around like management. Like if it's an event, I'm project managing. I know what to, how to connect resources, how to connect people together to get things done. And I was like, wow, this is my strength. And that was actually how it came about. And it was from school, like organizing all these events, meeting all these people. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that was how it came about. But it took time. It took time for me to realize. And that was like that's the funny part. Because it was right there in front of me, but I just wasn't seeing it. It was like right there. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm glad that we've gotten to this point.
Yeah, because it's I mean I was even while doing research, I also discovered that like you had even I mean, you were not necessarily an artist, but you have been on a song or two before. I mean, you've been on one of
Oh my
Odunsi's
god,
songs,
yes. So there was this one.
and I listened.
This there's this one. There's this one on SoundCloud called Weed and Hennessy.
Yeah,
There's this that
I
one
think that's the
I
one I listened
recorded.
to.
Oh my god, I recorded that when I was in uni, man. Like wow. And then out of uni, I'm on Poison Wine by Tim Lyre. At the end of the song, you hear some lady singing. That's me. Then
I'm
you
going to
hear
check that
someone
out.
talking on Spanish Lime as well. It's on Tim Larry's album. It's the outro. That's me. And then Fashina and Tim
So, like,
have
was this
this.
just you trying to spread your wings into different things? All right, because I'm just wondering, how does any like do people just hit you up and just? I mean, from what you said, yes, but like, they just come to you and oh, hey, no, like, really, seriously, because
Yeah, but most of the time is these are my friends. To be fair, it's like, oh yeah, but these
okay,
are like,
because the thing
yeah,
is, I
it's
don't know how you met all of them, right? So that's what I'm just trying to piece together. Because I was like, did these
so
people
like how I
randomly
met. For
hit you up? I'm like,
instance,
oh, come hop on my track.
yeah, for instance, now that Weed and Hennessy one, I used to like sing a lot in uni, right? I was even on this competition
So
where
is it like bathroom type singing, or you were actually a singer?
bathroom type singing. The first time I go on stage to sing, my friends and I used to do like this. We used to think we're the Destiny's Child back then. Even in
Oh my
I
god,
used to be in the
no!
choir. Yeah, like I used to be in the choir in school. So like everybody was like, "Oh yeah, she can sing." So it was kind of a no-brainer when like guys like my friends were into music, Ike Loams, guys in school. So we just used to like play around with it. It wasn't even serious. That day they were just like,
Hmm.
let's when in the room and they're just like, let's do this. And then you do it and then you realize like, oh, this sounds nice. And then out of school, like obviously I told you how I met Abuchi, then Abuchi introduced me to Nosa. That's how I met them, guys, knowing guys and everything. And then I met Tim. Um like we worked on this project called Indigo together. I project managed. It was one of my friends
Okay.
that actually he was like, so he saw how well I was working with other stuff and he was like, oh my god, I think you'll be able to manage this project, to be fair. Like he did it with Tim. And that was actually when I started managing music projects. So I managed the project, we put it out, we did a listening party. I was really cool, this so much. I set designed the place as well. So I was like, wow, this is like this comes easy to me. I'm good at this. Um, to be honest, even now when I see like like when I hear music, I already like in my head can picture how to like market or like where this what can happen and stuff. But that was kind of how we started with that. And through Tim, I met Mojo. Like, but we're all friends. Like we're all mutuals. Like at the time.
Yeah, one person meeting the next person, and like the cycle just keeps
Yeah,
going
like we're
like that.
all mutuals. And then um I was almost always just kind of like being in the right place. Almost always, because when I started working with Chop Life Crew, there were lots of times that I'm always in the studio. So it's like, oh, if they need a girl to voice some things, like I'm right there.
Oh, that makes
Do you
sense now.
understand?
That makes
Yeah,
sense now.
and stuff like
So
that. So,
everything just kind of aligned for you, and I'm guessing that's
yeah,
that's that's what it's been for you. That's really
I
nice.
mean,
Because I mean,
yeah,
you've if
sort
someone
of.
goes, because everything you said now is at least 10 years. So pretty much you've
Yeah,
done
because
ten
okay,
years
so
in the
so
game.
now when I even got out of school and like I was doing like I met like a lot of I met GMK because I was staying on the mainland at the time. So I met GMK through GMK, I met Tommy Thomas, Anthony, um damn,
Which
like
Anthony are we
all
talking
these
about? Tommy's manager.
Anthony, yeah, like all these Adeni Jones guys, like I just hang with them. Like there were a lot
Oh
of
my God! You said
there's so much
Adini.
history, like there's so much history like that I feel like I'm skipping over. I directed this music video for like SOJ Luciano. I don't know if you know Lucy, is a rapper. I don't think that video ever came out,
I mean,
sha.
I didn't grow up in Lagos, so I wasn't really familiar with the
Yeah,
Lagos music
man, but
scene at
like,
that time.
damn, like the Jones guys were my guys. Let's hang with them.
Where
And
were you
then
staying
like
on the mainland?
I was staying at Bagada.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, there was a time I puked on
Okay.
YC in the club. Ah, god
You
damn,
did what?
god
I know
damn. I went out with
you
my
have to tell
friends.
me that
Ah,
story.
like,
You actually
I went out with my friends. I went out with my
no,
friends. We're chilling. It was
I
a
know
Bang Bang
you
Tuesday.
can't just mention that and skip over
It
it.
was
Okay, I'm
Bang
listening.
Bang Tuesday. I went out with my friends and we're chilling on the table. I didn't know I was drinking so much, but I had drank. I just wanted to pee. So I was sitting down and I told my friend I want to pee. And he was like, oh, okay, now, like, let's go. As I stood up like this, I stood up, I just puked. Whilst he was just there,
Oh
puked
my
on
God,
him,
no.
puked on the floor, puked on the table. And you know how, like, everybody just starts walking away from where you are? God, it was so embarrassing. It was so embarrassing. But yeah, Sha, like, did a lot of stuff. Ah, damn. But yeah, I met a lot of people
You
and GMK. So if you go to YouTube and you check Student Hub GMK, you see this video that I made with GMK where like he was breaking down like a beat that he did um for someone. Let me check if it's still there. So yeah, so it was like those kind of things and yeah, yeah, yeah. That was basically it.
you could probably write two full books with
I can't
all
lie.
like your experiences because like and two is just me being very conservative because I there's a
I
whole lot that
absolutely
I
believe that. I
so
absolutely
yeah
believe.
so there's one thing I or one particular part of your life that I really want to understand and another part of this podcast that like or another one of the aims of this podcast is for people to really get an essential picture of what the roles of people behind the scenes do. So, for example, I mean, I'm going to get to this later, but like a lot of people have A&R in their bios on Twitter, and like it's become even a funny joke where, oh, Twitter A&R type thing. But like when people hear A&R, the first thing that comes to their mind is, oh, they just go up and down looking for artists, but like no one really knows the intricacies of the role, especially in the Nigerian market, since it's not like the most conventional market. And like I said, I'm gonna get to that. But like you also do like event curation and set design and So set design slash project management. So I really want to get or understand what that entails when it comes to like putting together, because I also saw that you did an event for Odunsi in 2021 and like you managed that. So what does it mean when you say, oh, you project manage an event, or like you handle the set design for like a music video or something like that?
Okay, so managing an event is like somebody comes to you and they want to do an event. So you're like, okay, how this is what you need to get this event done. It's like, okay, so you need a production crew, you need this, you need that. And then that person is responsible for getting all those people and all those things together. Sometimes they're also like responsible for putting like the creative input of how everything is going to look. So somebody's like, wow, I want to put together a concert for let's say, so like I did, let me just use something I've done, right? So
I've done,
Dorigos
yeah,
hit
that would
me
make
up
sense. Yeah.
Dorigos hit me up in 2021 and he said, okay, Kulupsy NSG is coming to Lagos. They want to do, this tour and I need you to put this together for me, right? And I'm like, cool. Then I start, I need a venue,
So
I
I
need a
want to know how
production
your brain
team.
works when you get like that brief.
Yeah. So it's like I need a venue, I need a production team. I'm thinking like, what do I want the stage to look like? What do I want the space to look like? At the end of the concert, what do I want people to talk about? What do I want people to think about? How do I want the lighting to be? Is there going to be food? Are we going to get, do we need to have openers? How many DJs? How many hours do I want to put this up for? Where do I want people to get tickets from? Stuff like that. Who should be the ticketing platform? So like those are basically like some of the things that go into my head like when
Mm-hmm.
someone comes to me with that. So I got the production crew, started talking to somebody about a venue, went to check the venue. That's like what we call a recce. Did all of that, went back to the team like, okay, you know what, we've got the venue, this is how much we need, when do we need to start selling tickets, what's the funding proceed, like yeah, that's pretty much what it is. So we did all of that, put the idea together, put the design together, and yeah, came up with the concept. So that's kind of basically how it works. You
For
put the
project
idea
management.
together
How
and
about set
someone
design?
executes. So for it's pretty much the same thing. So for instance, like Odunsi came to us and he was like, yeah, he wants to do like a party. Like he hasn't done anything in a while. He wants to do like a party, something intimate for his fans, something memorable. He wants karaoke. And then obviously when you say memorable, I'm like, yeah, there should be images, like something that, so
Mm-hmm.
when for the karaoke we said, we're like, all right, we're gonna make sure it's more tailored to Nigeria. So we have like Nigerian music, Odunsi songs on like the karaoke sets, images, a performance. We had like games. There was a set that people wanted to play like video games as well, and then like physical games. So it's just picturing how you think something should look. So for instance, there's this event I did with Lighter. Was a February 14th event. It's like doing like a Valentine's event, and that was at Were House. And I was like, if I want to come to this thing, like I want to feel like this person or this artist is in love with me, what can I do? And then I did
Yeah.
like a tree of hearts. I did like balloons. The stage was really cute, small, not too big. Yeah, like flowers, just basically what I feel like a Valentine should look like, what I feel like people would want to see, what I feel like people would appreciate. Sometimes I ask my friends for like consultation, but I feel like I'm getting too in my head. I'm just like, okay, guys, what do you think about this? What can make it better? And I'm grateful to have such creative people around me. So yeah, that's basically how it comes about.